Royal family, welcome to my channel. I am the pick a card Empress, and today we're asking what's blocking union. So if you are in a twin flame or higher level soulmate dynamic, or there's someone that you love and you guys are in separation, physical separation that is, this is going to be your reading. So what is blocking union? And some people will jump up, well, another person. Quite frankly, another person cannot block union. They do not have that power. Okay? That physical person is just a projection of something that needs to be healed, or something that needs to unfold before union happens. So we're going to look at what's blocking union today, and see what you can do to get into alignment. Now, we only have control over ourselves. We don't have organic control over other persons, okay? Unless you want to start dabbling, and then that never ends well. So today we're going to ask what's blocking union. In the extended, we're going to ask what's working in your favor, okay? All right, so we have 3 piles today as usual. The first one is the Tower of Dreams by Cyril. And it is this brooch today. The second one is Tower of the Imagination by Lou Scarborough. And it's this brooch today. And the third pile is the Chrysalis Tarot by Tony Brooks and Holly Sierra. Oops. Oh my God. What the hell? And it's this brooch today. So guys, do your thing, pick your pile, and I am going to be back shortly with your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose the Tower of Dreams, this is going to be your reading. So I'm just going to put this here. And the amethyst and the clear quartz are going to support it. Protection and clarity, that's what we asked for. All right, so before we get into the tarot, I'm just going to get a card that's going to signify the nature of the blockage. Okay, so today we're asking what's blocking union, physical union. What's blocking physical union? That's what we're asking today. Underneath the deck, we have self-consciousness. Okay, and interestingly enough, it is a card number 67, and 67 reduces to 13, which is the energy of transformation. So I'm getting already that this connection is being blocked, or this connection is being held up because there's some insecurities or self-esteem or self-concept issues that both parties still need to release. Okay, I see someone here kind of perfectionist, someone kind of vain, looking in the mirror here, not happy with what they see. Okay, so there's some solar plexus issues going on here, and some root chakra issues. Maybe even some sacral chakra. Why am I saying sacral chakra? Maybe there's sacral chakra issues, right? But there's something here that makes someone feel self-conscious, makes them afraid to put their authentic self out there. Okay, let's get a card. So what's the general energy of this blockage? So we already got some insecurities, self-esteem issues. What's this about? All right, we have naivety. Okay, all right, so, and it's a card number 8. All right, so naivety. From what I'm seeing here, both counterparts aren't seeing each other clearly. Okay, one person isn't seeing their own worth, and because they aren't seeing their own worth, their counterpart can't see their worth. The other person has put their counterpart on a pedestal and is idolizing their counterpart, seeing their counterpart through rose-colored lenses. So it looks like, there's some skewed perception here. People aren't seeing each other clearly. This person also is distracted. And I see this person has a pitchfork and a tail, right? So this person here is very much in devil energy, but this person can't see that, and this person can't see that they're in devil energy. Okay, they can't see that there's some sort of addiction that they have there. So someone has a skewed perception of themselves and the other person. Both parties have a skewed perception of themselves and the other person. Okay, somebody here is in fantasy land. In fantasy land, and then not both people, maybe all three people, right? So picking up here that there could definitely be a third party situation going on here, and everybody in this situation is not seeing the other person clearly. They're seeing each other through the lens of fantasy. They're seeing each other through an illusions, like each person has like a veil over their eyes. They have a veil over their eyes. Because this one is clearly the devil, and she's seeing him as the angel. She can only see his light side. She does not see the shadow. And if you're not seeing the complete person, then you can't love the complete person. So this person is giving all their power away to this person. This person dressed as a devil is giving all their power away to an addiction, and the other person here giving all their power. So everybody here giving their power away. So those are the main issues. So what have we picked up on? We've picked up on insecurities. We've picked up on the veil of illusion or fantasy, okay, and how fantasy can be harmful. People aren't seeing each other clearly. Either some are being demonized and the others are being sanctified. Let's put sanctified, right? But people aren't seeing each other clearly, and they're not seeing themselves clearly. So that's the nature of the blockage. And that blockage is going to persist until everybody in the situation sees themselves clearly and everybody clearly. Okay? It's all about balancing that ego identity. All right. So let's get some expansion on this, but those are the main themes that are coming out. So you want to know what's blocking union? It's a lesson. Several lessons, it looks like, to be honest. Several lessons. All right. Yeah, Empress in reverse. Everybody here is in distorted feminine energy. And distorted feminine energy is energy that is codependent. It is clingy. And we've seen the cling right there, right? It is clingy. It is manipulative. And it is the energy of consumption. Because once we're not in the energy of creation, which is the energy of the Empress, we are in the energy of consumption, meaning that we are relying on others for our sustenance. We're not getting that sustenance internally. Okay, we are looking at somebody else to give it to us, to give us validation, to make us feel loved, to make us feel wanted, to make us feel appreciated. Oh Lord, Spirit gonna give us a little smackdown today, but you know, Spirit always gives that smackdown with love. So in the extended, we're going to look at what's working for you. Okay. But right now, we're going to focus on what needs to be healed. All right. We got a King of Wands in reverse. Okay. So Leo energy coming through here. And we know he's a philanderer. We know he has anger issues. We know he likes chaos. Okay. Okay. So all that toxic shit that karmics like to do. Start drama. That's the guy that loves that. He needs that to feel alive. We have here, what came out is sideways, right? But any cards that come out sideways, I read upright. So we have Temperance, more fire. Sagittarian energy there. So lots of fire here. That Spirit says needs to be tempered. Okay. We have the Five of Cups. Okay. Let's get 6 cards. The King of Pentacles. I feel like this is what this person's meant to be. Okay. All right. And that's Taurus. We have the Hermit. Okay. Virgo. So a lot of stabilizing. I feel this is what you guys are meant to transition into. So these up here might be your rising sign or your ascendant. So we have Leo, we have Sagittarius, we have Scorpio, and you're meant to come into the stability, come back down to earth, come back down to earth. Because water can be, fantastical. It can have a lot of illusion. So you're meant to come back down to earth here, on the ground, with the stability of this Taurian and this Virgo energy. All right. So many messages. And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. Okay. Everybody in this situation is meant to transform, and only when that transformation happens, or when there's that integration of the lessons, or maybe just the awareness, maybe it could be. No, I feel like this is transformation with this Temperance card. Everybody in this situation is meant to transform. It looks like this whole situation is passion gone awry. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with passion. Passion is beautiful. But when passion has absolutely no boundaries, and we find ourselves giving our power away, giving ourselves away, that's when, Houston, we got a problem. Because then we're left with absolutely nothing else to give to ourselves. And that's what's happening here. So the first thing I'm getting is like passion going awry. A whole lot of toxicity that's meant to be tempered here by spirit. So if you guys are in separation now, it's this tempering that's happening right now. Passion is beautiful. But when it doesn't have purpose, when it doesn't have direction, when it's not put into the energy of creation of something grounded, then a lot of people can get hurt. So you may have gone through a lot of karmic cycles with other partners where you kind of, you just kind of gave into the idea of love that we see in the media and TV. Follow your passion regardless of who else might get hurt, right? But Spirit say, no, that's not it. It's beautiful to be so passionate, but this passion must have purpose. This passion must have reciprocation. This passion must be channeled into the creation of something. It mustn't be the passion of a bushfire that just rages out of control and burns down whatever is in its path. So there's a lot of tempering of the passion that needs to happen here. And particularly rage and sexuality are popping out. Yeah, you're meant to come to the stability of this King of Pentacles. Very grounded, very dependable. King of Pentacles is very passionate. People don't realize that he's very passionate. But he also knows that, there's a time for everything. There's a time and purpose for everything. And everything must be given some sort of form or stability. He understands that. And he also uses his passion and the energy in his sacral chakra to create, especially to create in the material world. That's what makes him so balanced, because he's able to harness his passion here and create something with it. So he's combining the passion of that King of Wands with that kind of Empress energy, and he's able to create. But when King of Wands in reverse, it's just passion out of control. It's passion without form. And you're only able to get to that place of stability. Well, after you've gone through the fire of all these lessons here, but once this fire pushes you now to go inward and really have a good look at your wounding and why you're not satisfied with life and why you're looking outside of yourself for answers, for validation, that's when the healing comes. So if you're in physical separation now, it's because Spirit wants you to go inward. With the energy of this hermit, Spirit wants you to go inward. And you will see that there's still some wounding there. There's still some wounding there that's not allowing you to see yourself in your totality. That's not allowing you to see your ego in totality. That's not allowing you to see your toxic habits in totality. And I'm focusing on you because we only have control over ourselves. And if this person is your mirror, because if they are your high level soulmate or twin flame, they are your mirror, then whatever you healing you will also ground that healing energy for your counterpart. But there's something about passion without form, passion without purpose, passion that's unstable. It's just drama. It's just drama here. Because the King of Wands in reverse, he's someone that just doesn't know what to do with his passion. So he just finds so many different outlets. That's why he likes to go to war. That's why he's always in a rage. That's why he's always the philanderer, sharing his love around, because he doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't know how to harness it. That's King of Wands in reverse. He has no idea how to harness it. So the passion is controlling him. It is only when he goes upright that he knows what to do with his passion, that he realizes that it's a creative force that's not to be squandered. But that takes time and many battles. Some won, some lost. So Spirit is asking you to take an honest look at yourself and look at where untempered passion has basically caused you to abandon yourself, betray yourself. Because it starts with you. The betrayal starts with you. When you betray yourself, that's when you're going to see it showing up in other persons. That's when other persons betray you. When you leave your self-respect by the door, that's when others disrespect you. It always starts with yourself. We do it to ourselves first, and then we ground that energy for other people. So Spirit is saying there's still a lot of tempering that needs to happen here. You guys are still in that ring of fire. You're not seeing your full value and your worth. You're not seeing your full value and your worth. Okay. I'm going to ask, what's the pain or wounding that's driving this energy? Let me take down this deck one time. I didn't mean to use it, but this is where this is going here. All right, we have an addiction. It says alcohol, but when I see those addiction cards, I just, spread it wildly. Okay. Let's look at the wounding that's driving these behaviors. These behaviors, these beliefs. What's the wounding that's driving this? Just take it as it resonates. There are going to be several people watching. All right, we have abuse. Now it says ritualistic abuse, which makes me think about some sort of religious or spiritual abuse, like using religion or spirituality to control someone, or religious programming or spiritual programming, or and brainwash. It could be that. So maybe the way you were raised, okay? Maybe with the way we were all raised and programmed by the media. Who knows? All right, let's have a look. Let's see, what is the wounding that's driving these beliefs and behaviors. All right, so the insecurities come back. So there's some sort of body image issue, okay, that's coming through. Okay, there's some part of yourself, your physical body, it looks like, that makes you think that you're not good enough, and you have to overcompensate by giving yourself away. We have fear, whether it's a fear of rejection, a fear of being hurt, a fear of being abandoned, okay, anxiety, okay. It looks like this is what activates your ego. That's what activates that overgiving, and that living illusion. What else? What's driving this? We also have blame, okay. I feel like this is linked to something in your past. They're telling me your first love experience, okay, you kind of internalized the rejection, okay. You didn't understand that it was divine protection, okay. So you internalized that rejection, or whatever happened, you blamed yourself. You blamed yourself. It has to be that this person, they betrayed me because I wasn't good enough, or they betrayed me because I wasn't doing this enough, or they betrayed me because I looked like this. Whatever it was, you internalized that, and this program has been running inside of you and causing you to act out in these sort of behaviors. Let's pull another card. One more. Let's get 4 out here. We're making an 11 card spread because this is what Spirit's saying. You're in physical separation because you need to bring yourself into balance. Okay? And then it comes back out here again. We have addiction, and it says alcohol, but I'm just going to take addiction. So there's something that you do to numb out from your reality, and it could definitely be a fantasy world that you enter into. It could definitely be validation addiction, okay. Whatever it is that you use to numb out, this is what activates. In fact, these behaviors might be a way of you numbing out from your pain by chasing. Or just seeing only their light side in order to numb out from the pain that this situation, the particular incarnation of the situation, has caused you. Because relationships go through several incarnations throughout the contact, right? But it looks like this particular incarnation of the relationship is causing you pain. And you choose to focus on the good parts of it because you don't want to deal with the dysfunction. But you're in separation so that you can deal with the dysfunction. Let's get some advice. So in the extended, I'm going to go into what's working in your favor. We're going to look at your person's heart space energy for you. If I'm guided, I may get some 3D messages. But I'm going to look at what's going to be the actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. And it's good to put the date that you watched a particular pile, because maybe you'll be guided back to it again, and then you might be able to choose a different pile, okay? And maybe you'll find that maybe the date that you watched this might be significant as well, okay? Maybe an angel number for you. All right, so what we have here, we have the priestess, and it says triple moon. Okay, so Spirit's saying use your intuition. You're blocking out your intuition because you're focusing on this person, but Spirit saying you have the power, and you're also grounded enough, and you're a lot more durable than you think. You're a lot more durable than you think. That's what I'm getting from that. We have Lalita. Oh, beautiful name. And it says, follow your bliss. Okay, so it's like follow your passion, right? Follow your joy. But I'm getting, it's not the unrestrained passion of the bushfire. It's more the passion of the purple flame, or even a campfire, where it's nice and warm and cozy and makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel loved and welcomed. All right, let's see. Oh, I opened the book right on it. All right, so let's see what's going on with Lalita. It says follow your bliss. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with passion, but it's passion without purpose, right? Divine Mother Lalita, the beloved Hindu goddess, represents play, bliss, and love that is pure. She's said to set order to all of creation, and it's exactly the message we kept getting. There must be order, okay? She's said to set order to all of creation, as well as organize all karmic energies. She is the wife of Shiva, who she married only after gathering interested parties and announcing she would only consent if they would accept that she would remain independent. So she is the poster girl for Miss Independent, is Lalita, right? And that's what Spirit wants you to be, not codependent on this person for validation. Lalita then trusted destiny to make the final choice about whom she would marry as she tossed a gallon of flowers into the air, which landed on Lord Shiva. Also, that's that tossing bouquet thing. That's where it came from. Very interesting. Okay, but she trusted in the divine to make the final choice. Lalita was the leader of an army of female warriors, which was one of the most feared in the land. However, one day while they were under attack, she found that all her female soldiers were asleep and could not be wakened. When she realized the predicament they were in, she opened her mouth not to scream but to laugh. And it was then that Lalita gave birth, through her laughter, to the Hindu god Ganesh, which is the remover of obstacles. Yes. He helped to break the spell that had caused the female soldiers to sleep so that they could win the battle. Lalita desires perfect harmony and compassion amongst all human beings. To this end, she manifested the great saints who emerged from her fingertips to restore righteousness on earth. So she won not by lamenting, but by laughing, following her joy. That's what removed the obstacles. Okay, so Spirit saying, pursue that which makes you genuinely happy. Not happy in the moment, but that long-lasting happiness. Because that is what's going to remove all obstacles. So the message here is, follow your bliss and your passion. Pursue what you love. Everything will come together as long as you do not compromise what you truly aspire to. Okay, so if you truly aspire to be with this person, then you can't settle for being side chick or side guy or side non-binary person. Okay, you have to focus on what you're trying to manifest. All right, it says, review the path you are on. Are you staying on a path or relationship because you feel stuck, complacent, or are afraid? One second. Or are afraid to follow your highest excitement? Are you afraid you will fail or be criticized if you change directions? Lalita's energy is here to remind you that you need to honor your authentic truth and do what brings you joy and bliss, and you will excel in everything that you do. Don't compare yourself to the success and achievement of others around you. Your life is about breaking through your blocks to live your best life. Awaken your goddess-given talents and tap into the dream that you have deep inside of you. Satisfy that passion to build, create, do whatever is calling out to you and makes you excited and joyful at the thought of it. When you live your life following your passion, you are living your life in a way that enriches the world, amplifies the vibration within you, those around you, and the planet. Okay? So it says, when you're living your life in a way that enriches the world and amplifies the vibration within you. So whatever you're going to do, however you decide to proceed, make sure that whatever you decide to do raises your vibration and does not lower your standards or lower your vibration. And you will see that energy radiating to all those around you, and it will radiate into everything that you create and everything that you do. Okay? All right, my love. So that was today's message for you. If you're interested in the extended, we're going to explore what is working in your favor. Okay, we're going to look at your person's heart space energy for you. We're going to look at actions towards you a month from now. I'll get some 3D messages from them. Why not? And then I'm going to go into the sacred spirit cards and get some advice from spirit. My loves, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments. They all help all community grow. And I love you guys for it. Royal family, take care. Bye. Hey, pal, too. Welcome to your reading. So if you didn't watch the intro, what I was saying was we're looking at what is blocking union. And some people usually just kind of play it off, well, a karmic is blocking union. No, a karmic is just a representation of the lessons that we're meant to learn in order to come into union with self, and of course then come into union with our physical, with our counterpart. So today we're looking at basically what are the outstanding lessons. I'm going to leave it open and say we're going to ask what's blocking union, but I'm getting that it's going to be about the outstanding lessons that are still at play, okay, or the outstanding karma that needs to be balanced. But karma for me is just lessons. All right, so if you chose this brooch and the Tower of the Imagination, we're going to get into this here, okay? All right, so before I get into the tarot, I'm going to go into this love pack deck. And we're going to get a general energy of what's the blockage. It's a general energy of what's the blockage. If the blockage could be summed up in one card, what would it be? Underneath the deck, we got a problem. What is this? Now, it is a card, and it's weird. Maybe you guys can watch Pile 1 as well, right? Which is what I was feeling when I touched this deck. Because in Pile 1, the card underneath the deck was 67, which reduces to 13. And this card is 76, which reduces to 13. So there's a mirroring here. So what is the problem? The problem is both persons are perceiving that they're too different to come together, and that there's a fundamental issue that cannot be resolved. That's what both people are intuiting, that you're just too different. You guys have tried all how to come together, but you're seeing that there's an issue here. But the issue here is, and Spirit's saying, is that you guys within yourselves are still not balanced or complete. So you're trying to take a half of a heart or a half of a cup and try to join with someone who also has a half of a heart or half of a cup and try to make it into a full cup. 1 second, please. So that was my neighbor, Mr. Poster Boy for toxic masculinity, okay? So maybe that has been an issue here, perhaps, because whatever happens in a reading is part of the reading. And maybe there was also outside interference in this connection as well. Or it could have been like programming, right? Toxic masculinity is programming. But either way, you guys are not seeing the situation clearly, both of you guys, okay? You guys are trying within your own self, or you guys are trying on your own to find a solution to this problem, to manifest union when you guys need to really come together as whole persons and try to find a place to compromise, okay, and bring this union down to earth. But what Spirit is saying is that both of you guys aren't healed. There's still a lot of heart healing to do, right? You guys, both of you guys are still wounded. And then you guys are trying to fuse these two pieces of wounded hearts together. Both of you need to come with your whole heart and then create that third entity. I'm also getting that you guys are just focusing on how different you guys are and how impossible the situation may seem. And as long as you focus on the problem and the differences, and you bring that energy and you try to find a solution, it's never going to work. So Spirit's saying you guys have to change the way you're looking at the issue and the way that you're looking at each other and the way that you're looking at the way this connection is meant to come together. So there's some kind of releasing and letting go that needs to happen. All right, so that's the underlying energy. Woo. All right, so the blockage. We have wild abandon. And we also have laughter. Now, because of blockage, I'm going to interpret this card negatively. So definitely pile 1 is connected to you. Okay? You guys have been just engaging in wild abandon without care for the other persons that may be connected to the situation, who have been veiled from the truth, or whose autonomy or sovereignty has not been respected. Okay, so what do I mean? All right, so when you guys come together, you guys are in your little fantasy world where it's just 2 of you guys and only 2 of you guys matter, which energetically might be true. But that doesn't help you guys to learn the lessons that you're meant to learn through the presence of having a third party. And the third party could be an intimate partner on either side, or it could be family members. So once you're not acknowledging the totality of the issue, then you're not able to learn the lesson. Okay, what do I mean? Because I don't think I'm expressing myself clearly. So for example, persons who may see themselves as anti-racist or an ally to persons of color often say, I don't see color. But by you not seeing color, it means that you're not seeing the full or the totality of the issue. And if you're not seeing the full or the totality of the issue, then you're not able to be an anti-racist, right? So it's something like that. Because you're not acknowledging the other people involved, you're not learning the lessons. So if you're not acknowledging, when you guys meet up and you're in your fantasy world, because you're not acknowledging the third party, then you're not learning the lessons that the third party is meant to teach you. Maybe they're meant to teach you something about boundaries. Maybe they're meant to teach you something about codependency. Maybe they're meant to teach you something about integrity. But because you're not acknowledging in a real sense these other people and learning the lesson from these other people, because these other people are also mirroring back to you yourself for healing, you guys are not learning the lesson. Okay, so it's like pile number 1. So definitely watch pile number 1. It's passion gone awry, and it's passion without purpose. Okay, so we have wild abandon, right? It's passion without form. Okay, and then we have here laughter. And this I am interpreting as, somebody is not taking the situation seriously. Somebody might be, acting like a clown, or they might be a player. Okay, so someone here does not have serious intentions where this connection is concerned. That's what I'm interpreting, because it's supposed to be the blockage, right? So someone does not have serious intentions. Now, because this fella here, this clown, is on display, I'm also getting that someone is putting on a show. Clowns also have masks and makeup, or putting on a mask for the public eye, but this is not their authentic self. So they're treating this situation very casually, but that is not in alignment with the true feelings that they have on the inside. So there's this kind of conflict. And if there's a conflict between the ego identity and then the divine self, then there's going to be conflict manifested outside of the self. So the blockage is passion without form. So definitely watch Power 1. And also, someone here is putting on a show. Someone here is not being authentic. Someone here is still playing games. Let's go into the tarot and let's see if we can get more messages. Let's see if we get an expansion on these messages. And what I'm getting with this wild abandon card is not just about passion, but anything that people consider like, hedonistic, right? It's passion or dysfunction gone to the extreme. It's absolute extremes. It's the extremes of everything. The extremes of any kind of indulgence, whether it is binge eating, whether it is lust, whether it is greed. It is just diving wholeheartedly into extremes without care for anyone else. So it's a lack of boundaries with that wild abandon card. Okay, so let's go into the tarot and let's see if we get more messages. So somebody is just being superficial and not taking this connection seriously. Still wearing a mask, still putting on a show for the public eye. Or it could be both of you guys. And then we also have the wild abandon card. People indulging in extremes. So codependencies, addictions, everything to the extreme. Everything is an extreme, okay? There's no balance in that because there's no boundaries. Okay, so underneath the deck here we have the Ace of Wands. And we have rocket power here, all right? We have rocket power, the Ace of Wands. So it's about taking control of your life, okay? And the Ace of Wands is harnessing passion, recognizing passion and that sacral chakra energy as divine energy, the power of creation, and using it as such and not squandering it on extremes. Okay, so definitely watch Pile 1. Let me just put a little note. So Pile 1 and 2 can watch each other. Because it's definitely the same message that's coming through. Right? So the energy of temperance is needed here. And it's also a lesson in how do we use our passion. How do we harness its power? All right, let's get 6 cards. We have the 10 of Cups. So what's blocking this connection? We have the 10 of Cups. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Virgo. We have the 6 of Cups. We have, I usually leave these in like for Ace of Pentacles. So we have Ace of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Fool. Okay, so that Fool, that clown comes back again. Now it's meant to be blockages. So I have to interpret these cards in their negative aspect. But there is also a positive message in this for you guys as well that I will tell you after, right? So bad news first, right? We're going to take our medicine first. and then wash it down with some love. How's that sound? Okay. Okay, so what's blocking this connection here? All right, so what I'm getting here, there are a lot of toxic family traits that are playing out within this dynamic on both sides. On both sides. One of those toxic traits is the energy of procrastination, okay? Or even taken to the extreme, avoidance. So people can see a situation right in front of their eyes, but instead of trying to solve the problem, they rather focus on the difference. They rather focus on how it cannot work, okay? And instead of trying to approach it with some measure of clarity, we just decide we're going to just turn our back on it. We're just going to turn our back on it, okay? At some point, I guess it's going to resolve by itself. So there's an unwillingness here to face the music and to face a situation head on. Okay, we rather turn our back on it. And sometimes turning our back on it and not putting in the work means us turning our back on an opportunity to manifest total happiness with this Ten of Cups here. What's also playing out in this connection is a lot of childhood wounding. And I'm going to pull some cards in a moment for that. Okay, a lot of childhood wounding, a lot of things that people can't unsee from their childhood. Now, for some of you guys, it looks like you may have had a parent who, okay, several messages coming through. All right, so for some of you guys, you had a parent that numbed out. Sex is coming through very strongly. Addiction is coming through very strongly. I just heard overdose, so definitely some sort of substance abuse here. You had a parent that was codependent and clingy, and instead of them focusing on nurturing the children in the household, they were there running after multiple partners, multiple, whether it's men, women, whatever was their fantasy. Okay, they were just solely focused on external addiction. Why am I saying addiction? External validation, that they didn't have time to nurture the children in the family. They were there, they kept running after a lover. They were addicted to sex, addicted to validation, addicted to other people. And you guys, as a child, you have seen all of this and taking in all these toxic traits. So in your adulthood, you're doing the same with your partners. Chasing after them in some way. Falling into a whole sort of toxic situations here. A lot of dysfunction. Maybe either having addictions yourself or partners that had serious addictions. Well, any addiction is serious. So constantly recreating the dysfunction of your childhood. And it looks like because the childhood was so unstable, you guys and your partner, because you guys, if you're high-level soulmates or twin flames, you guys are mirroring each other. You guys have a weird relationship to the material world. So you'd find on your journey, one of the prominent lessons that keeps coming up on your journey is your relationship to the material world, and that issue of poverty consciousness and the different way it manifests, whether it's through workaholism, whether it's through overachieving, whether it's through greed, that energy of avarice. It's never enough. But it's because of this instability in your childhood. Also coming through for this pile is some sort of mother wound. Coming through very strongly. They're saying the disapproving mother. Her lips and all tell you that. They are not pleased with what they're seeing. So never feeling good enough. Never feeling like your efforts are enough. So whoever was this disapproving female figure, for some of you guys, it may have been a grandmother. Or it could have even been a male who was modeling the feminine energy. But a disapproval, always searching for approval from this parent. And even now. And this parent could have even transitioned and you're still trying to live their life. Still trying to live the life that they mapped out for you. Still responding to their criticism. Still internalizing their criticism. So there's a lot of wounding here coming out from childhood that you guys are still meant to process. Because the fool is a child. Someone here is also a wanderer, non-committal, afraid of intimacy. So anything that feels secure, anything that feels like home, they're running. Even though that's the thing that they crave the most. So they crave connectivity. They crave being a couple and having that sacredness, that intimacy. But at the same time sabotaging it with this wild abandon that they have here because they're afraid. They're afraid to even aspire towards this goal of being intimate with someone. They're afraid of being hurt, afraid of being betrayed. So instead they focus on the wild abandon. The sexual nature of the relationship, sexualizing the relationship. You focus on the material world and being in that energy of avarice, just collecting things. Not taking anything seriously. And not realizing you're not making progress. You're just stuck in the energy of your childhood. So there's a lot of ancestral pain that you're meant to purge and transmute. A lot of ancestral dysfunction. Making decisions out of fear. Because the Knight of Pentacles, when he's unbalanced, he could be a worrywart. He could be absolutely paranoid. So there's trust issues coming through here as well. And that's what's preventing you guys from, truly surrendering to this connection. So the blockages are within you guys. So that's the medicine. That's the medicine. I'm going to get some more medicine in a bit, right? But what Spirit is saying with this 10 of Cups here is that there's a lot of potential in this relationship. Real potential that can manifest. Okay, but it takes the energy of both people getting themselves stable within themselves and taking this connection seriously, because Knight of Pentacles comes through as a solid offer. Taking this connection seriously in order to manifest this union. Spirit is asking you guys to get grounded, cultivate a healthy relationship with the material world, and follow your intuition. Because there's real potential here. Let's ask Spirit, what's the wounding that's driving this wild abandon card and this kind of commitment phobia? What's the wounding that's driving these extremes? And this focus on superficiality. Underneath the deck we have defensiveness. Okay, and that's a coping mechanism, right? Alright. What's the wounding that's driving this behavior? Okay, well, we have a blank slate. So I'm going to have to pull a card on that. But I'm getting from that no boundaries. No boundaries. And we have the facade or mask. People aren't being real. People aren't being real. Okay? They're living their life for the likes. People aren't being real. So this could be you, your person, or both of you guys. Okay? Nobody's being truthful about how they feel. Okay? Because everybody's afraid. Okay? They're afraid that the love might be unrequited. Because maybe you were made to feel like you weren't worthy of love in childhood. Or you may have had experiences where you felt that the love was requited and you're thinking that it's going to end up the same way, but Spirit's saying no. There's true potential here, but you're sabotaging it with your experience. The past doesn't predict the future. And you think it's going to unfold, and there's another blank card here again. You think the same thing, lightning is going to strike twice or thrice. But Spirit's saying, no, you're not the same person. Spirit, why are these two blank cards here? Spirit saying this is a blank slate. You are a different person, they are a different person. Exactly. Make a choice for love. We have the Lovers in reverse. And we have Four of Swords. Exactly. You guys are not the same people. So even if you've experienced what you thought was unrequited love with this, even with this person, Spirit is saying that you guys are not the same person. You guys have done some major healing. This is all your affairs. So you might be keeping it light with this person and not pushing for something deeper because you're afraid. But they are not the same person and you are not the same person. Spirit is saying you can choose love. And Spirit is also saying don't be afraid of putting yourself out there. You can take off the mask. You don't have to be defensive. Because defensiveness is sabotaging the situation. Let us get a message from Spirit here. What is the advice? Now, in the extended, what I'm going to look at, okay, so we looked at what's the blockage, right? We're looking at what the blockage is, and it looks like feelings of unrequited love. We talk about the mass, and we talk about family dysfunction. There's a lot of family dysfunction, generational dysfunction that's happening here. Please watch Power 1, okay? So, in the extended, we're going to talk about what's working in your favor. All right, what is on your side? All right, so we're going to go into that. We're going to look at what your person is thinking and feeling about you at this time. We're going to get some 3D messages from your person, and we're going to look at their actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading, and then get some more advice underneath the deck. Okay, I do not know how to pronounce this, so I'm not going to try. No, I'm not going to try. And it says restoration and transformation. Definitely watch Power 1. Okay, so underneath the deck, so this connection is being restored, this connection is being transformed. Don't try to sabotage it by going back to old behaviors and old ways of being. You are not the same person. They are not the same person. You might not even be facing the same problem. Okay, what is the advice? We have Mary Magdalene, beautiful, and says courage and visionary. So from that already, I get focus on the end goal, focus on what you want. Okay, we got the message that somebody in this connection, maybe both parties, are afraid to dream and are afraid to focus on what they really want, which is an intimate connection with this person, because they think that it's not going to happen and they're going to be disappointed. But Spirit is saying no. Be brave enough to dream. Have that courage to step into love. Okay? All right, let's read from the book. Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, known as Mary Magdalene, Mary of Magdala, popularly known as Mary Magdalene or the Magdalene, is divine feminine energy incarnate. She is the 13th and closest disciple of Jesus of Nazareth, teaching alongside him as a visionary and a teacher in her own right. She is known as the apostle of the apostles, and as you know, they're saying that this was Jesus' twin flame, right? But 13th is their energy of transformation. In ancient Aramaic, Mary means she who illuminates. It is said that nobody understood Jesus' message as well as she did, and she was able to share it clearly with others. She wrote the Gospel of Mary after his death, recounting her role as a teacher, leader, and visionary who received secret revelations and divinatory knowledge from the divine. She was a scholar who shared her knowledge with Jesus and her fellow disciples. She was the energy of the sacred feminine to Jesus' sacred masculine. The Gospel of Mary remained shrouded in mystery and secrecy for centuries. In the meantime, Mary Magdalene was depicted as a former prostitute, a narrative that began in the 6th century by the Catholic Church. Many believe this was to prevent women from accessing roles of leadership in the Church. It was not until 1969 that the Vatican formally corrected the error, stating she was distinct from the sinful woman mentioned in Luke and that she was actually a devoted disciple of Jesus. In the Baha'i tradition, Mary Magdalene is glorified and highly regarded as an enlightened master, powerful, knowledgeable, and holy. There are many versions of who Mary Magdalene was or was not, and those pages were stuck together like glue. But she was undeniably a goddess who lived among us, who was not only well versed in book knowledge, but also well connected to the spirit realm. She was a conduit for illuminating truth, courage, and strength based on her own visions and private revelations. Despite naysayers, she lived her truth. So the message here is, Mary Magdalene reminds you to stay focused on those things that are of true importance. You have nothing to prove to anyone but yourself. Your spiritual walk is a personal one. Have courage and do not shy away from your purpose. Mary Magdalene is sacred feminine energy and gentle inner strength. Have courage to step up and speak your truth powerfully with grace and wisdom, whether it's to this person or to the world in general. Okay? Trust your own inner strength to lead you where you are meant to be. One gentle, empowered voice can set grand and sacred designs into motion. Pay attention to your intuitive guidance and revelations and share with others about those things that are being revealed to you. Expand your knowledge into more truth, more clarity, and more grace. Awaken to love within you and all around you. You have gifts that can help make the world a better place. Share what you know with patience and devotion. Mary Magdalene was a leader among the disciples, which was not an easy task. She faced feelings of jealousy and patriarchy directed at her from some of her fellow apostles. However, she was graceful and kind, understanding their fears and insecurities, yet firm in her stance and beliefs. She reminds us to address challenging people in our path with compassion and integrity, not sacrificing our own needs or losing sight of our purpose. So Spirit is saying you have to speak to your truth to this person. You have to speak your truth to this person, being compassionate and considerate of their own circumstance, their own context, but not backing down from your truth and your core values. Okay? It is not enough to just be there in wild abandon without the form, and just staying there on the surface. Spirit is asking you, you be the leader. Take this connection deeper. Okay? Alright, my love. So if this resonates with you, join me in the extended and what's working for this connection. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. And today we're looking at what is blocking union. Right, so before you guys jump and say a karmic, the karmic is just a representation of the lessons that you guys are meant to learn. It's just a projection of the lessons in physical form, right? What's blocking union usually It's some sort of lesson or karmic debt that needs to be balanced out. But for me, karma is all about lessons and cycles. So today we're going to look at what's blocking union. And it might be something other than that. Okay, but usually that's what it's all about. So before we get into the tarot, okay, I'm just going to put this thing here. I'm going to go into the love pack. And I'm going to get the general energy about what this blockage is. That's just generally. What's the general energy about this blockage? Underneath the deck, we have tenderness. And right away, because it's supposed to be a blockage, what I'm getting here is a fear of intimacy. A fear of intimacy. And it's a card number 17, and 17 is a star card. It's about healing. And star card is also the card of karma. What do we have here? The lovers. So a choice. Okay, so right away we're picking up on third parties. We're picking up on high level soulmates, twin flames. Okay, and we're picking up on some sort of intimacy avoidance. Here, even though these two people look like they're stroking each other's face, they're also looking like they're pushing each other away. Okay, so let's get a card. Okay, so we have naughtiness. All right, so right away, you guys can watch pile 2. Let me put a note there. Pile 3. Can watch pile 2. Okay. So we have So what is the blockage? We have naughtiness, and right away, I'm getting some kind of sexual temptation here. Okay. Some sort of sexual temptation, some sort of flirtation, some sort of inappropriate behavior, but I'm really getting it something sexual. Okay. And again, you guys have been keeping it light, keeping it on the surface. And weirdly enough, they're reminding me of a book that I read, like, I think I was probably 18 years old. And I've never been able to find this book again. But in the book, they talked about the 3 levels of love. The 3 levels of love. And they're saying that the most banal is the meeting of bodies. And then we move up to the meeting of minds. And then we move up to the meeting of souls. Okay? So you guys have been keeping this thing on the meeting of bodies, even though this looks like a connection that can be wish fulfillment for both of you guys, okay? And this is a card number 21. So this is a cycle that needs to complete. Some sort of inappropriate behavior when it comes to sexuality. Now, 21 also reduced to 3. So it could be some kind of third party shit going on here. But it's about using sexual behavior as a sort of block or a buffer for intimacy. Both of you guys are intimacy avoidant. So you hypersexualize yourself, hypersexualize the situation, or sexualize the situation, and you keep it on that level. But what you really want is that sort of connectedness. Okay? But both of you guys are afraid. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of being manipulated. You're afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of being controlled. Both of you guys. You're afraid of being controlled. You're afraid of being under somebody's power, under somebody's spell. You're afraid of being dominated by someone else. You're afraid of losing yourself in someone else. Both you and your person. So what do? You try to take control of the situation by manipulating the other person. And it could be manipulating them sexually. Using sex as a form of power. Right? That's something that's codependent. That's toxic. Okay? So what's blocking this connection? The sexualization of this connection is sexualization of yourself and using sex as a weapon, a weapon of mass destruction, but a weapon of control, using sex as control. Instead of using sex to forge intimacy, we're using it to control our emotions or partner. This is our safe zone. This is where we feel confident. This is how we feel safe. Being and staying in this energy of naughtiness. But Spirit is saying, when you do that, what you're doing is stymieing the growth of this connection. You're not in the energy of surrender, which needs to take place for Spirit to really work in this connection here. So everybody trying to manipulate the other, and it looks like manipulation through sex. And whilst you manipulating them and them manipulating you, somebody might be manipulating them. There's something else greater going on. They might be a third party manipulating them. So it's a whole chain of manipulation and using sex as control. So you need to ask yourself now, why am I engaging in these toxic behaviors? Why do I need to have control? What am I afraid of? And through that is how we deconstruct the ego. That's how we deconstruct the ego and really get to our core wounding. Why do I need to control this? What am I afraid of? What happened to me in my childhood that makes me feel I have to assert my control in this way? Why is sex my safe zone? So these are the questions Spirit is asking you. This is what's blocking the connection. You guys are blocking the connection. Nobody else. All right, let's pull some tarot on this. So the sexual chemistry between you guys, when it's in balance, it's beautiful. You know, it's mischievous, it's lighthearted, but it's toxic and dysfunctional when it keeps the connection that's stuck there. Then we don't actualize the other levels. We don't see the full potential of this connection, which is the merging of the souls. Okay, you guys are keeping it banal. All right, so we have the poet, and this is the King of Swords, right? And the King of Swords, he's a diplomat, right? So he's a good communicator. He searches for clarity, right? He doesn't muddle the waters with dysfunctional behavior. He gets straight to the point, to the heart of the matter. And Spirit is saying, this is the kind of energy that you need to project on the situation right now. There needs to be clarity. There needs to be boundaries. There needs to be authenticity. There needs to be communication. Okay? All right, so that's Aquarian energy there. All right, so let's get 6 cards. Spirit, what's blocking this connection? So we're going to keep naughtiness, using sex as control in the back of our minds, because Spirit is saying that's the general energy, right? So this is about control. A third party may be involved, possibly. All right, but it's also giving up your control to her. Remember, nobody can fuck with your mind. Unless you give it to them, right? So you're giving your power away in some way. So we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. So it's about taking off those masks. We have the Corsair in reverse, which is the Knight of Wands in reverse. What's blocking this connection? We have the Chariot in reverse. So we have Sagittarius here, and the Chariot, we have Cancerian energy. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the Lovers in reverse, Gemini. And we have the Dreamer, which is a Knight of Cups in reverse. What's blocking the connection? Well, you guys, but also, Spirit is blocking the connection so that you guys can see yourself see your dysfunctional behavior, and walk away from it. Look, we have the Eight of Cups here. Okay? Spirit is saying everybody that is surrounding you right now is mirroring back to yourself. And you've been hesitant to really look deeply into these mirrors, right? And for some of you guys, you might have even turned your back on it. But Spirit is saying, you got to go back. I'm really getting, go back and look at your past. Look at your past relationships. Look at the people who you have really held on to, or you have held there, the people who are closest to you. They're mirroring back to yourself. Right now is a time to look back and recognize the dysfunctional habit, link, chain in all these relationships. And I'm betting you're going to see some sort of skewed relationship with sex is one of the prominent themes, and power. So you're meant to realize what true power is all about. And it's not about dominating the other one, especially by using sex. It's not about that. It's about being authentic, having that courage to put yourself out there, to take off your mask, and to be intimate, right? Because that's what the Seven of Swords is in reverse. It's allowing yourself to be seen, to be intimate. So all these dysfunctional behaviors that both of you guys have, it's all about escaping this intimacy that you crave, but at the same time that you are so very afraid of, because once someone is intimate with you, then they have that power over you and the ability to hurt you. And you're afraid of that hurt, but you're also hurting yourself by doing these things. So Spirit is saying it's time to release that kind of player behavior. Okay, where you guys are going in and out of each other's life, you're hooking up. So it's a kind of hooking up. There's hooking up. Even here, he's hooked up as a puppet, right? So that hooking up culture, you're just kind of disrespecting and dishonoring the essence of this relationship, because this relationship is powerful, it is spiritual, but you all just keep keeping it on this banal level. It's on that level all the time. There's no progress, right? There's no progress because each of you guys are hiding from the other. And that's what's keeping this connection stuck. That's what's keeping the connection stuck. Spirit is always also saying that this connection is being blocked because people have choices to make. They have choices in love and they have choices in partners, it looks like. So you may have a partner that you're looking at. They may be with a partner as well, but it's for you guys to choose the most authentic version of yourself, and that's going to be bring the most authentic relationship. And right now, you guys aren't choosing that. You guys are still hiding from this person. Some of you guys are still hiding your feelings. We have Knight of Cups in reverse. It's like your true self is this romantic, but being the romantic hasn't been kind to you in the past, and you're still thinking, you're awfulizing and thinking that it's going to have the same outcome in this relationship. So you're hiding your feelings from yourself. Why did I say from yourself? Some of you guys aren't even admitting your true feelings to yourself. That could be you or your partner or both of you guys. But you're hiding I meant to say you're hiding your feelings from the other person. But no, Spirit is saying you're even hiding the truth of your feelings from yourself. Because your greatest desire is to have everything with this person, but yet you're settling for what is comfortable. And what is comfortable, it looks like it's physical intimacy. When you want it all. You want it all. And Spirit is saying it's okay to want it all. It's not going to end up in heartbreak. Once you stay true to yourself and true to your values, it's not going to end up in heartbreak. It is the moment you betray yourself and betray your feelings, that's when betrayal comes. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there and take this connection deeper. That's one of the messages that came out, I think, in the extended of pile 2. Don't be afraid to take this connection deeper. They're not going to be scared off by your weirdness. They love that shit. They love it. They're not going to be scared off by your intensity either. They're not going to be scared off by how you look. They're not going to be scared off by your past. They're not. And if they are, they weren't meant to be in your life in the first place, because your true love will accept the true you, and you are your past, your present, your experiences, your dysfunction, where you've come from, where you're going. Your true love will accept all of that. So don't be scared. By being your authentic self, you're going to get some quick answers as to who's really in your corner and who really loves you. Spirit saying, take this connection deeper. Don't settle for the banality of it. Okay? You're sabotaging your connection with sex. Basically. All right, so let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do into another layer now. Why are you sabotaging your connection with sex? What is driving this dysfunctional behavior? Now, we had the fear of intimacy, but what is underneath that fear of intimacy? Where did that come from? This is what we're going to dive deep into now. Where's that need for control from? Where's that need to hide? Where does it come from? So we're going to go into another layer now. Why don't you want to be seen? Why don't you want to be loved? Again, definitely watch part 2. It's some abuse from your past. And it could be continuous cycles of being abused or not being appreciated. Okay, let's see. So some sort of abuse, okay? Some sort of trauma from the past. Let's get some more information. Oh Lord, what this? So we have emotionally unavailable parents or guardians. So whoever from your child, it looks like they emotionally checked out. They didn't support you. They weren't supportive. And maybe your emotional displays was met with some kind of blank face or neglect. They just didn't have the resources, the emotional bandwidth to support you. Maybe they weren't taught. Maybe they were going through trauma of their own. Whatever it is, it had nothing to do with you. But you internalized it and it made you feel unloved. Okay? We also have lust here. Interesting. What's driving this? We talk about what's driving this dysfunctional behavior, about using sex as control. And then we have lust. But why? So it looks like there could have been some misuse of sexual power, either from your childhood or from your formative sexual experiences. Okay? So there's some sort of assault, some sort of abuse here. And you keep acting it out. Lust makes you feel powerful. Maybe you felt disempowered as a child. Whatever experience happened there. So there's some trauma related to lust here, or the misuse of sexuality that you're playing out with your partners. Because we saw abuse underneath the deck. So we have some emotional abuse happening here. And then we have lust here, also connected to abuse. So it's some kind of, I don't know, I don't want to be triggering, but some sort of childhood abuse, childhood sexual abuse, molestations, some sort of inappropriate behavior. We did have naughtiness there, right? Some sort of inappropriate behavior from your childhood. Whether it was your sexualization, or there might have been actual touching, or some sort of transgression of boundaries, and you're playing it out all the time in your relationships. What else is underneath that behavior? We have hoarding. And that's about being in lack, okay? And that one day we're going to be without. So we collect. We're like a love collector. We're a love collector. It's that player energy. But hoarding is also possession, wanted to possess people, wanted to possess things. And it's because at some point we were without, whether we were without emotional support, whether we were without material things. So now we're trying to substitute with things and people. And we're doing anything in our power to keep people in our life. But this also talks about the hoarding of emotions as well. So instead of expressing our emotions, we settle for what we feel safe doing, and it looks like that's fucking. We feel safe by expressing ourselves through sex. But it's keeping our connection stuck. What else is underneath this behavior? So it's a need to control, it's a need to possess. It's our insecurities. We don't want to be truly seen. So we're just gonna baffle them or, dazzle them with our skills. And that's both of you guys. Remember we saw that mirror? It's both of you guys. You're doing that. I don't want to be seen. I don't feel like I'm good enough. So I'm going to dazzle this person and control this person through the sex act. And that's what's blocking your connection. Let's get some advice here. In the extended, what I'm going to do, okay, so this is medicine, a bitter pill that we need to swallow, all right, if we want to move forward. I'm going to look at what's in your corner, what's helping you, okay, what's working in your favor. I'm going to look at what's your person thinking and feeling about you at this time. I'm going to get some 3D messages from your person, and I'm going to look at your person's actions towards you within 1 month of you watching this reading. And I'll get some more advice. But let's get some advice for now. Spirit saying embrace the sacred feminine. So that's about knowing your power, okay, as feminine energy and not abusing it. Because this looks like the abuse of feminine energy, okay? This looks like distorted feminine energy where we're using our sexual power to control others. What is the advice? We have Pachamama. It says Mother Nature and grounding. And then we have that feminine energy card. So right now, Spirit is saying, right now you have to reparent yourself. Okay? Reparent yourself and ground yourself into your 3D reality about what you're doing. Okay? So you might have been glossing over some of your dysfunction, glossing over some of your pain, but Spirit is saying right now you have to take a hard look at yourself. Yeah, this is a tall moment for you, right? You have to take a hard look at yourself and look at the cause of your dysfunction, and it looks like it's right back in childhood where you were not nurtured. So you have to nurture yourself right now. All right, let's look at Pachamama. It says Mother Nature and grounding. So this is the Empress, right? Pachamama, Mother Earth, Goddess of the Andes, embodies nourishment and abundance and encompasses all of creation. She is associated with rituals for fertility, protection, and healthy crops. Her name comes from, I don't know how to pronounce that, Kichon, word Pacha, meaning world, and the word Mama, meaning mother. She is the supreme giver of life, expressing the unconditional love of the universe, past, present, and future. She teaches us that each of us is divine and eternally connected. When we live in service to love, we are vessels of love and spirit. She manifests her gifts in fertility, abundance, planting and harvesting, generosity, and femininity. She is the ancestral mother of all life, the ultimate nurturer. It is she whom we walk on daily, breathe in her breath, and drink her waters. She nurtures us abundantly, providing for body, mind, and soul. And the message here is, Ground yourself. Connect to Pachamama, Mother Earth. You may be spending too much time online, or even too much time on things in the higher, or even too much time on things in the higher spiritual realms, daydreaming, or maybe you are feeling distracted and unable to focus. Ground yourself in her energy, for she's the power that energizes you. Pachamama will help you balance your energies so that you can travel even further into the higher realms of consciousness while staying connected to Earth, which is your home at this time. Spend time outdoors. It is possible to have real communication with the Earth through grounding. Walk barefooted and allow the Earth to help you release free radicals. So all that excess energy that you have, picture yourself grounding it into the Earth, which will help you reduce cortisol levels, help blood flow, and more. Sit on the ground and relax, allowing the gentle movement of the Earth to sway you. Pachamama offers us beauty, nourishment, respite, and enjoyment. Take care of her by recycling, growing a garden, gathering rainwater, or volunteering at animal shelters. Become aware of your food and shopping choices to take care of all species and the land. Nourish yourself inside and out by spending time outdoors and surrounding yourself with flowers and plants in your living and workspace. Embrace the outdoors in ways that are joyful and easy to incorporate into your daily life. So what I'm getting here, right now, focus on yourself. Focus on self-care. Nurturing yourself, reparenting yourself, and putting yourself first. And that means wading through some of your emotional wounding and doing a lot of heart healing. Really getting grounded and seeing about your grounding and protection. Pursuing your passion and your purpose, right? That is going to give your passion structure and drive, okay? And purpose, right? You have to focus on your purpose right now, because a lot of this is sacred sexual energy, that sacral chakra energy, just basically going awry. It's a squandering of creative life force, and that is always destructive to others and to yourself. So right now, Spirit is saying, just get grounded. Get grounded and focus on creating things, because when we are not in the energy of creation, we are in the energy of consumption, consuming things and consuming people. Okay? All right, my love, so that was your reading. If this resonated with what you were already getting in your spirit, join me in the extended, and we're going to go into what's working in your favor right now, what your person is thinking and feeling about you. I'll get some 3D messages from them. I'm going to look at their actions towards you within 1 month of you watching this reading, and then I'm going to get some advice, okay? My loves, take care, and please subscribe to my channel. Take care. Bye.